2, 1, go. And we have Snowflake on this left side. We see that roster I was talking about earlier. Idra on that Tassadar, Master Skin, Chillatek rocking the Rhaegar, LZ Gamer on the Chen, new hero, Faye on the Falstad, Keelax on the old standby Tyrael.
And over here on the red team, the team known as Glorious, the gamer known as ZP on the Barney Diablo. Syracuse playing the Golden Angel that is not Tyrael, everyone, that is Demon Hunter. Soma on what seems to be his patented leather. Glarong on that Kerrigan as we were mentioning before, and Luck on that our house that is known as Tychus.
Alright, well, we're getting into game here. We see a pretty normal lane distribution.
Shape here. Interesting to see, like I said, there's that Diablo and Kerrigan. They're sticking together, like I said.
Yeah, definitely look to see them form.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
You're cutting out a little bit right now. Let's pause it for just a second.
Okay.
Your mic's cutting out. Let's just turn off the video feed while we're in game because we don't need that anyway. And then hopefully the audio comes through clean.
Good call. I apologize, everyone.
Technical alpha, man. Technical alpha. It happens, guys. We're going to be getting this started in just a second for you. Restart the call here. Alright, can you hear me? I can hear you. You good?
I'm good. I'm ready when you are, man.
I'm paused here at 101. You ready to get back into this?
Let's.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Like you were saying, we have the Diablo Kerrigan obviously going to stay together, form that roam squad, really dangerous, a lot of dislocation abilities. That's going to be brutal, but I think Chen is not the person they want to find in this bottom lane. He's way too tanky.
Yes, not only is he tanky, but he's just slippery overall. He's able to jump and kick himself around and able to get out of team fights as needed, as well as when he drinks that brew, he can just stand there and laugh at you while you try to kill him.
Yeah, absolutely. So this gank gonna be probably a big waste of time. Let's see if he maybe overextends. No, it looks like Team Glorious is just gonna kind of pull back a bit, and we see Tassadar Uther in the mid lane. Nobody gonna be going for kills there. Falstad Tychus in the top lane, potential kill lane, but not the best roaming coming out of Snowflake with that Rhaegar Tyrael. They don't have the lockdown you really need to force a kill, so it's really unlikely that we're gonna see big plays coming out from them. They just want to kind of show up and counter gank this Glorious lineup.
Yeah, but so anytime you have a hero like Tychus with that escape mechanism, run and gun, without any hard lockdown, it's always going to be pretty hard to get any sort of successful gank on him like that. And mid lane, looks like Kerrigan and Diablo rotating, looking for a gank here. But Tassadar, again, one of those heroes that's really hard to gank with a dimensional shift, able to shield himself up and get away. So they're kind of bouncing between mid and bottom lane there.
I mean, Snowflake's lineup looks perfectly tailored to deal with this highly aggressive roam squad, honestly.
It really does.
I mean, Chen, Falstad, Tassadar, all difficult heroes to gank, and that leaves Glorious with a roam squad that's kind of ineffective, while Snowflake has a much better mercenary clearing squad with that Rhaegar Tyrael. We can see they've already taken those ogres 100% safe. Glorious hasn't managed to threaten anything with this Kerrigan Diablo yet, and they're trying to force something on Chen here.
And here we go, bottom lane. The Impaling Blades into the dunk. LZ Gamer looks like he's going to be our first blood. The DPS coming from the Demon Hunter, and that control coming from Kerrigan and Diablo. We got our first blood here about almost 3 minutes into the match. Finally some action.
Finally some action. I mean,
3 minutes, so long.
I'm actually impressed that they got that kill. That's kind of a difficult pull into stun to get as Kerrigan when the person's like near their wall. You don't know what way they're going to run. So props to Glarong for getting that. It looks like they've gone back to clear their ogres. Now this tribute is in the top left part of the map. That means doing the ogres puts them kind of far away. I wonder if Snowflake is going to capitalize on this and take a really quick tribute lead.
Yep, and I mean, just looking at the movement on the map, it looks like they're just going to sack that tribute and try to either get some ganks or just soak lane experience. Yeah, LZ Gamer able to get that tribute without any contention. Down here in bottom lane, Chillatek, he's getting initiated on, but he's... no, there's the Impaling Blade. And in the dunk, he's going to go down here, chain healing himself up, and he goes down regardless of the chain heal. Once again, ZP's team, just Glorious Gaming showing off the potential that they have and pretty much just picking anyone off, even the heroes like Rhaegar and Chen.
Yeah, so even those, higher hit point pool heroes have not been able to stand up to the Kerrigan Diablo Vala, and we've seen here the Kerrigan didn't get her damage output nerfed, just the difficulty of landing the combo. We've seen Glarong land 2 perfect combos. Here he goes again. He's going on LZ Gamer.
Hitting by the Impaling Blades into the overpower again. Demon Hunter just sitting there, right-clicking him away. The poison is able to finish him off, and it's a 4v3 bottom lane, a 1-0 exchange, and that LZ Gamer on that Chen is just getting picked off over and over by, as we mentioned before, that Kerrigan and Diablo combination, which they are playing immaculately right now. You can tell they have a lot of experience with it if they're able to pick off people so readily and just so quickly and so efficiently. Faye top lane almost got picked off too.
Oh, interesting. So Faye almost lost that 1v1 there to Cawthon luck. Interesting play up there. Now, we see Diablo has decided to start sitting in the bottom lane, and Kerrigan and Vala have started to do Mercenaries. That's because the Vala is much faster at Mercenaries than Diablo, and once you're at that level 7 and have a bunch of lifesteal from your vampiric attacks, it's really easy for Kerrigan to split the tanking with Kerrigan, and that's going to be a much more efficient Mercenary clear than if it was Kerrigan Diablo.
Absolutely, and they're timing this right as the tribute spawns, so we're going to see if they have Knights pushing on top of getting the tribute at the same time. Neither team is really committing to the tribute, and as I say that, the Soma goes down to the tribute. But it looks like Snowflake are just kind of backing off of it, and they're going to take a Night Camp themselves while sacking this tribute.
Yeah, Snowflake has realized that they can't fight them in the early game. The brawling from Kerrigan Diablo is just too powerful. But this is a risky spot for them. Glorious invading the Night Camp. Snowflake has to back off.
They recognized what Snowflake was doing and was able to sniff it out, and they're going to try to contest this Night Camp. They're just kind of poking each other, a little bit of a Mexican standoff here. No one really committing to a fight yet. Kerrigan looking for that initiation. Up here near the top lane, though, there's an overkill on Tychus, but able to get away. And Glorious Gaming is able to secure the Night Camp as well. Great Impaling Blades onto Kalax. Into the Overpower. He is getting body blocked. He's going to go down here. Looks like he's going to go down. The Uther stun, able to keep him in place. And once again, it's level 9 to level 8 here. So it looks like Glorious Gaming is lining themselves up to get that always important timing window where they have their ultimates and the other team does not. But also Snowflake just at level 9 as well. So next tribute is excited to see next tribute if both teams have ultimates. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, that's going to be
an interesting one. This Grave Golem is a really aggressive call by Glorious. I like it a lot. They know that Snowflake has fallen on the top side. He has that global and can't get there in time, though, just because of the kill they got on Tyrael. So excellent usage of that pickoff to ensure they get the Grave Golem, and that means that they're level 10 before their enemies. They have ultimates. LZ Gamer's getting caught here by Glaurung in that bottom lane. He tries to channel the brew, but it is not enough. He gets overpowered, cancels the channel, and that means Team Glorious secures another easy tribute.
Yep. The RNG just was with him there, man. Because that tribute spawned right next to him.
He was a little bit on their side, I will admit. That gives them a 2-to-1 tribute lead now. They're close to a curse, and this Grave Golem is going to take down this fort. There is nothing Snowflake can do. They know 100% they can't fight here. They don't even have ultimates yet. They need to be in other lanes soaking experience here, because they just stood there and watched their fort burn. If they had been in the other lanes, they might have been able to hit level 10. Not being level 10 is going to mean that Glorious can go take their own Grave Golem, and they don't think Snowflake can get there in time to stop them.
Yeah, and that fallback mechanisms that teams generally like to have when they are in a behind is the mercenary camps, but as we see Glorious Gaming just able to secure the mercenary camp, so they don't even have that as a fallback mechanism. But thankfully, they are able to hit level 10, so they're going to be able to contest the next point of contention, whether it's an objective or mercenary camp. They are going to have a even fight there with their ultimates, and there's the next tribute, top lane. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, this tribute is going to be important. If Team Glorious gets this tribute and their whole roster is alive, that's going to spell almost certain doom for Team Snowflake, because that means they're 2 levels up right now. They've got a Grave Golem pushing top. A curse here means at least 2 forts for Glorious. Snowflake needs to deny this tribute.
There we go. Sonic Storm going down. Demon Hunter's arrow just doing some harassment. Idris will shield himself to get that damage away. ZP, the front man in the front lines, just kind of just one Snowflake to try to get on team fight here. And here we go, LZ Gamer jumping on there. There goes down the Apocalypse. But the Apocalypse looks like it hits LZ Gamer, but that's it. Kerrigan going in there. Judgment onto Kerrigan. Glaurung's getting pretty low here. Shock and Awe. Shock and Awe brings down Kerrigan. Strafe going down from Syracuse. Everyone is about half HP over on Snowflake Gaming, but they are still pursuing. There is the split coming out from Brewmaster, the Fat Lily, doing some work. Sea-Luck does have the own going down, doing as much DPS as he can. He's got to be careful there. He's getting body blocked with those 3 pandas. And is he going to be able to run and gun away? He uses that run and gun. Let's see if he's able to get away. Soma dropping the heals onto him, able to keep him up. LZ Gamer gets picked off with the hammer just coming from Uther. And that tribute is still there, and Rhaegar also getting picked off as well, kind of right after that team fight. Idris pretty low. He's going to Hearth Home, and it looks like, yep, this is going to be, I believe this is going to be a curse for Glorious Gaming.
Yeah, this is a curse for Glorious.
Back and forth team fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good for Snowflake at the beginning there. The Ancestral came down, prevented the first target from getting gibbed, and they managed to kill Kerrigan, but then they overextended chasing, it seemed like, and Glorious just managed to wait out their cooldowns and re-engage on Snowflake, who was out of position. They got kind of strung along as they chased, turning that from an easy 1-for-0 and tribute control, and then they chased, and Snowflake lost 2 people, lost the tribute, and that's going to get them cursed. This puts them in a really bad spot. They're level 11. Team Glorious is at level 14. That means they're 3 levels of stats and a talent point up. That is a really difficult place to fight. The Team Snowflake is cursed right now, so their buildings are not going to contribute anything. Team Glorious wants to force something down right now. There are no mercenaries available on the map except for these far back bottom siege giants, and we can expect them to go to those after taking this mid fort.
And let's see if this is going to be a successful defense from Snowflake Gaming. LZ Gamer going in there, but he gets stunned up. There's a judgment onto Glaring, onto a shock and awe. Nice Divine Storm going down there. Ancestral Healing, keeping Keelax up, but the Strafe is still doing a lot of work here. Snowflake Gaming, all of them are really, really low. If they can focus him down. Archon coming up from Midger, trying to do a turnaround here. Tyrael does end up going down, but the Archon is still up. And look at that. The moment they see that Archon, they just let's back up, let's wait it out, let's get into a better position and secure yourself this fort. So once again, that was a 1-for-nothing exchange going the way of Symbiote Gaming, or I'm sorry, not Symbiote Gaming, Glorious Gaming. Glorious Gaming.
I mean, Glorious looking good, so I can't fault you for that call out. Now, we saw actually a huge Divine Storm in that fight, stopped the Falstad shock and awe, and that was the critical moment because Glaurung was 100% dead if that shock and awe goes through, and if that Kerrigan gets blown up instantly, her contribution in the fight is not that high. She really needs to stick around for a long time, get a lot of that shield generation, so huge Divine Storm there coming in, actually crushing that team fight out against Snowflake, and the Archon didn't come up in time to really put out the damage that they needed.
And Glorious Gaming also just were able to back up and wait that Archon out as well. You could tell Idra wanted to do the turnaround on him because he popped that Archon and immediately started moving forward. But Glorious Gaming able to recognize that we don't want to fight an Archon, especially if the Curse was about to run it as well. But they were able to successfully defend that fort. But it looks like we're going to have a second attempt of Glorious Gaming to get this fort down as well as the Night Camp helping them out to tank that fort up. Just a little overkill harassment going on to him right now. No one really committing to a team fight. Kerrigan and Diablo looking for that initiation. Kalex throwing down his sword. But I think, again, that's just looking for a little light harassment here. Their team really wanting to commit to a fight here. Snowflake just cleaned up Glorious Gaming's Knights, and now their Knights are pushing into them. So we're going to see if they continue to keep this pressure, or are they going to back off and take another objective?
Well, the only objective up on the map right now is that Grave Golem in the bottom side. Now, Snowflake does have to worry about Glorious's Ogres in the top side, and Glorious has to worry about Snowflake's Ogres in the top side. I'm sorry, Glorious's Ogres are bottom side, obviously. Now, they're trying to pressure this fort, and they had a timing window where Archon was down and there were no other ultimates down, and it looks like they're trying to engage here.
They initiated on a Glaring, but he was able to get away. That healing totem that everyone loves so much, getting picked off pretty nearly, didn't do too much work there. And once again, teams, they're just kind of testing the waters on each other. Neither of them are really wanting to commit to a team fight. And at the same time, both teams respectively have Ogres pushing out the bottom and the top lane. So both of them are just, looks like they want to play the stall game, and they're both kind of doing the same thing. But we do have a tribute spawn here. So we'll see if they're going to commit on this tribute, or what do you think is going to happen here, Dunk?
I don't think that Team Snowflake is willing to go onto Glorious' side of the map to find this tribute. It just seems a little risky to me. Team Glorious is very close to that level 16 breakpoint, which is huge. The tributes on their side of the map, they've got the watchtower, they're going to have good defensive position. Snowflake comes in here with a really long judgment. They get onto the right target, who's Syracuse, but the APOC is going to deny the engage pretty hard as they try to walk through this narrow space. Odin popped. Here's the Ancestral coming down on Keelax. Huge heal there. Now Soma's out of position. LZ Gamer managed to clear him out. Keelax running away, trying not to go down. Vatvala cannot get the final damage on him. And here we see the teams blowing up in a huge melee. That split from Chen, saving his life and getting him diving onto Glorious's backline. Now we see him taking out ZPs, and here he's trying to chase down that Syracuse, those highly mobile Storm Earth and Fire Pandas doing work. Perfect body block,
that was amazing.
Taking down that Vala. And we see a 3-for-1 in favor of Snowflake. So Snowflake getting that really good hard engage onto Vala, exactly what they wanted. Huge Ancestral Healing coming out from the Rhaegar to save Tyrael's life for a long time, wasted a lot of Glorious's damage, and that is not something you can afford with Kerrigan and Diablo. Like, front-loaded damage is a main part of your engagement.
Yep, and also fighting into an Archon with Psionic Storm, into a chokehold, a choke point that they were at, also was never a good idea as well. So Snowflake able to recognize as they caught him out of position kind of with that judgment, and just finally a team fight going their way. So level 16 to level 16 here at the 13-minute mark. The Golem secured for Snowflake Gaming bottom lane, and it looks like Glorious Gaming going to be securing theirs top as well.
Yeah, so Glorious is actually going to give up a fort on bottom side if they go for this Golem. They're okay with that. You don't want to try and defend your first tier fort this late in the game against a Golem. The Golem is way more powerful than your fort is. It's going to tank that up. It's going to throw out roots and stuns. So they're just going to take their Golem top, probably let that push on its own, and then go back to defend against Snowflake in that bottom lane.
And the movement coming out of Glorious Gaming here, I think they finally want to get this fort in mid lane that they've been trying so hard to get, and they finally are able to secure it.
Yeah, so that ties it up. Level 17 to level 17. That bottom fort did fall, so Glorious doesn't have that fort anymore. Now this is actually a really good positioning by Glorious. They've managed to get themselves in place to push with their Grave Golem on that top lane into the Snowflake team, whose front wall on the top is down. And here we see an engage going down, Glaurung getting low, but he manages to jump out with that adaptation. He's trying to pull Kelex and the Chen back in, someone with a huge stun on the back line, zoning out Snowflake. Meanwhile, Syracuse focusing, firing on those Storm Spirits, but Chen comes back out of the Storm Spirits full health. That means a lot of wasted damage for this Glorious lineup. Now they're on the run, Snowflake chasing them out, False Dead Tassadar doing work on the top side, clearing out the Odin. Meanwhile, Chen, Rhaegar, Tyrael cleaning up that Diablo. No escape for him.
Great team fight from Snowflake there. 3-0. Level 18, level 17. So Snowflake, while in the early game were looking like they were playing a little timid, they're starting to get much more aggressive and initiating team fights, being smart about initiating team fights. And they've taken the last 2 team fights in a row, and it looks like they're going to secure Glorious's night camps as well as get their first curse of the game here at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, so this curse is really good for them. It's going to put a lot of pressure around the map. They're taking these knights. They know they're pretty much 100% free. They know for certain that Glorious can't fight them with 2 people dead, so they take the knights really fast. They're going to rotate down into this mid lane, clear out that creep wave and this fort that's pretty much defenseless. Now, the question is what they're going to do after that. They could take a really conservative route, pull back, get their own knights, or do the enemy siege giant, something like that. Or they could try and force down the front wall of one of these keeps. Because they have the curse, this is one of the best times to do it. Now, they would like to have a Grave Golem here to help with that, but here they go, siege giants on that bottom side. Yep. And this wall is down. It looks like they're going to try and pressure this bottom side keep.
That bribe, that power bribe on Falstad. He was able to just fly in there, grab him, and all of a sudden now we have a push here keep with the curse. Don't know how much time is left on that curse, but we'll see if they're going to play this conservatively, if they're going to commit to a team fight. Looks like they're just playing the defend the ogres game. But the Primal Grasp taking the ogres in, they're going to be able to clean these ogres up. Able to get that keep at about half HP. But Snowflake is still, in the area. They still want to get this keep down. The curse is down, so they have to worry about the slow and the damage coming from that keep. Snowflake Gaming still, are they going to retreat? They're kind of going back and forth. And both teams just kind of holding their own right now. LZ Gamer, there he goes. He's going in there. He's getting snared up by the keep damage. Overpower from ZP, overkill onto LZ Gamer as well. LZ Gamer's at about 2/3 HP. Impaling Blades on a Chill Tech, no follow-up from it though. Chill Tech able to get away. The rewind onto the Kalex for another Impaling Blades. Once again, no follow-up from there. ZP's getting really low. Apocalypse goes down, and it just hits Archon in the top there. Judgment on a Syracuse, followed by the Shockanal, but once again, the Shockanal got interrupted. Ancestral healing on Chill Tech himself, able to keep himself up, but LZ Gamer caught a little bit out of position and was taken down by that DPS from the Demon Hunter and the Tychus. Soma looks like he's a little bit out of position as well, and he gets caught up with the Earthbind Totem. So that is 1 down for Snowflake, 3 down for Glorious Gaming. They're going to go for this keep, and they could possibly go for the GG because they have 3 people down for the better part of 30 seconds, and a creep wave is pushing in.
Yeah, so 17 minutes deep in the game, this team will wreck through this core. Now, they got a really good team fight there, 3 for 1. That's exactly what they want. I don't know if they're going to be able to end it. It looks like they're trying. Syracuse getting low. The Odin is popped. This is an all-out defense by Team Glorious. Do they have enough damage? That core is at half health. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to secure it.
Yeah, Edger's using his welding beam to cut it down, and it is doing work, welding them away. And yeah, they are able to secure the GG with that final team fight coming out from Snowflake. So that was rather impressive coming from Snowflake as well. Another thing we didn't take into consideration is the level discrepancy, level 20. So they had those level 20 ultimates and talents, and that really kind of helped them finish the game there. Impressive play from Snowflake.
Yeah, so in the beginning, that did not look so good for them, and they managed to turn it around. Really, really impressive. So we are going to be getting an interview with LZ Gamer guys from that Snowflake lineup. Give me just a second. Oh boy, to get Skype set up. And you can turn your webcam back on if you would like. Shane Gucci, I don't know. Let's see if it's working. There we go. Awesome.
We're good? Okay, sorry about the microphone problems earlier. I apologize.
Yeah, just looked like the internet connection was spotty for some reason. Who knows, man? It's Skype. It does silly things.
Right.
I don't even know. I don't even know. Alright, getting LZ Gamer on the line here. Add people. Oh my, Skype, why are you doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me?
Come on, Skype. Skype.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was an impressive game because most of the time, we don't see that many turnarounds, honestly. We see a lot of the time teams have been pretty good at taking over the game and maintaining control. And that time we saw Glorious kind of slipped up a little going into that mid game. Snowflake caught some good team fights. What do you think was the turning point that allowed them to start winning the team fights?
That team fight near the bottom watchtower on Glorious's side of the map, where the Demon Hunter was cut out with that judgment. I actually think Demon Hunter's vault kind of she vaulted against the bushes right there, and it actually only vaulted her like a very small space away, so it didn't give her that space that a full vault would have. And she was able to get picked off, and again they fought in that choke point right there, once again in those bushes by near the bottom watchtower. And like I said, fighting into a choke point anytime there's a Tassadar laying down Psionic Storms in Archon form is always a scary thing to do. And that was the first team fight that Snowflake was able to secure for themselves, and subsequently were able to secure the next team fight after that, which subsequently turned into them being able to win the game. So
Definitely.
I think the big turning point was that fight down at the watchtower right in the mid game there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's ask LZ about it, because I bet he knows more than we do.
Agreed.
All right. Boom. Adding new call. Let's get it going.
What's up?
All right. Let's see if this is even remotely right. Oh, looks like we got it. Boom. All right, while I fix the overlay text real quick, I'm here with Shane Gutra and LZ Gamer from Team Snowflake. LZ Gamer, why don't you give us a quick introduction while I set up this overlay text?
All right. Let's see. I've been a competitive gamer for over a decade. Yeah, really like Heroes of the Storm. I have a pretty good team, and enjoying and excited to see where this game goes.
Awesome, man. So, really intense game there for you guys. You guys were on the ropes early game. What was your thought process? Did you expect to be on the ropes against that Kerrigan early game? How did you stay concentrated and make it into that mid game?
Yeah, my group is actually just pretty experienced with like dying to Kerrigan early game. We're all kind of bad at against it. Even with the nerf, it's like, yeah, we expect to. So it's like, oh, that was fine. We only died 4 times. Like that was pretty good. Like, like we mitigated our losses. You know, like hey, that's all right. We've had worse. You know, it's not double digits yet. So yeah, so it was okay. We know that Kerrigan's strongest point is like early game ganking and that type of stuff. And she falls off more in the late game. She can't contribute nearly as much. So we weren't too really worried about it. We just knew we had to we just had to get not too far behind. You know, we wanted to make sure that we were only a level at max 2 down, and we can't let them, you know, be 16 when we're just hitting 13 or something. So as long as we can kind of keep it close, then we felt like we could easily come back with just one good team fight.
Awesome. We also saw the Chen picked for the first time in the ECS here.
Yeah.
Let's give us a quick rundown. What are your thoughts on Chen? Maybe some reasoning on your ultimate choice, or even why you drafted Chen this specific game.
Yeah, okay. I think Chen's really good. He's kind of a bruiser. You know, when we drafted Chen, they didn't have the Kerrigan Diablo combo either. So that was a lot of like extra CC to knock me out of the channel brew.
Yeah.
And so that made a lot of my tankiness kind of go away in most of the fights. I couldn't just sit there because there's just so much CC with like the Uther and the Kerrigan and the Diablo and stuff like that. So it made it a little bit harder. But you can use his ultimate where he splits to actually dodge the Apocalypse, which I did twice in that game. I only actually got hit by it once, I think, when I thought I could just walk away from it. But every other time I just split when he did the Apocalypse. So it's kind of like the Illidan Metamorphosis or something. It gives you that 1 second of invulnerability, right?
Yeah.
And plus the barrel, we really like the barrel too. But the thing is, like when your comp is set to where you want the Falstead laser to hit as many people as possible, you don't want the barrel to be knocking them all away, right? We don't want anything like that. So we knew that that the Chin ult would also really work on that map too, because of body blocking. There's a lot of choke points or small little edges where you can pin people against walls or trees and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we went from it. He's a bruiser. He does a lot of damage. He has a root at 7, and he has a big power spike at 16. And so we've been experimenting him a lot with custom games, and we felt like, not custom, like pub games, and we felt like this was a good time to kind of debut him.
Don't tease us with the custom games, man. Don't tease
us. Too soon. Too soon. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the information, LZ Gamer. Very excited to see more Chen play from you guys. Shingu, do you have anything you'd like to contribute just to end off this interview, or are we good here?
No, just impressive play, especially since you guys were behind. I could tell you really focused on the Kerrigan and team fights because it seems like Tyrael just has a magnet on top of the Kerrigan. For the judgment into the shock and awe is really what kind of you take the Kerrigan out of the fight, and all of a sudden you take that control of the fight, and the team fights go your way after that. Was that kind of your idea, or was that just kind of on the fly?
I mean, kind of. A lot of the times, well, at least lately, it feels like Kerrigan's more of like the second initiator, but Gloron was always trying to be the first initiator in lots of the fights and would stay a little bit too far forward, so we were just trying to kind of punish him for that. And, you know, like Kerrigans can totally flip a fight. If they get like one good pull, they can just rewind, pull it again. Right. And so you still have to be very dangerous or scared of Kerrigan as far as the potential she has, but if you take her out of the fight, then, you know, their team has a lot less CC and a lot less stunning potential.
All right, well, very interesting, informative. Thank you, LZ. Awesome to see your team advance towards that second place Division 1. Let's see if they can keep moving towards that playoff spot. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.